Hey guys, welcome. People in to see the live. Here we go. George is in, I think. Hey!
Hi! I'm in.
Oh, she's in. She's in and she's live. How are you?
I'm alright. I just had to check I didn't have any berries in my tea because I've just made a smoothie.
Ooh. You like your
Yeah.
smoothies and your healthy stuff, don't you? I'm always seeing you making bread, actually.
Oh, I make bread a lot. I've been making it for a long time. Yeah. I just like
Yeah,
bread.
you
I
seem
just
good at
like
it.
food.
Yeah, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Well, welcome to the core room.
Thanks for having me.
That's all right. It's a pleasure. I love it.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Kept trying to keep busy, but yeah, no, not too bad. Great
Yeah,
to have
ready
you
for
on.
yeah,
Excited.
ready for the hot weather tomorrow that everyone's talking about.
Yeah, we get one day, don't we? So this is British summer.
Yeah, and
This
then
year it's on a
next year.
Friday.
Yeah.
So the first question that I like to ask every athlete that comes on, Georgia, is what type of core room athlete are you? And whilst you think about that, I'll just quickly explain that the core room is the room that athletes go to before they go out to race, and it's where they mentally and physically prepare before they walk out. And I know, obviously, in swimming, you go to a room. I'm not sure what it's like in triathlon, so you just take it away and let us know what you're like before a race, basically.
I'm very energetic and very chatty.
I like it.
So in triathlon, we basically have like an athlete's tent, an athlete's lounge, it's called. It's basically an area that's blocked off by barriers, and we might sometimes have a little marquee. It's nothing special.
Right,
And
nice.
usually there's just a lot of stressed athletes in there, maybe some people on the turbo. But yeah, we go from there over to the athlete lineup, which is by the by the pontoon, and that's
Yep.
on like the blue carpet area, and so we have to be there about 15 minutes before. I mean, it's been a long time now since I've raced.
Forgotten what we do.
I know. So about 15 minutes before, I think we get a call up, and then about 10 minutes before, they'll say, right, get in your orders. So it goes from 1 to 60. And we basically
Right.
get called out one by one. The top 10 will have like a few achievements. They'll be on the tannoy, and then you run on or walk onto the pontoon. I usually walk on because people see me run on, but I think because like I've been third the past 2 years, I'm one of the first on. So I think, why am I rushing to get on? Still,
Yeah.
like 50 odd other girls coming on after me.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. So in the area before we get called up, I just go around and chat to everyone, really. I keep very relaxed. We have a giggle. I don't like to be sat on my own and doing nothing. So yeah, I'm always chatting to people, and also chatting to the girls around me that are ranked around me. Because
nice.
There's one girl, Taylor Spivey, last year. She's a really good swimmer. She's an American. And I'm like, where are you going on the pontoon? If you go next, I'll follow you, and then I can get on your feet while you get on Jess's feet. So
nice.
I was like, please help me swim faster.
Nice. Although you come from a swimming background, Georgia, so you're not, you're not a bad swimmer.
I'm not a great
swimmer. Well, I would argue that you are. So.
Do you remember the national relay that I got us disqualified?
You got to wait a second. It's coming back. It's coming back now. Oh, Georgia, I take that back. Get on everyone's feet, Georgia. Get on everyone's feet.
And
Although there have been asked the question about disqualifications to do with you, as you can imagine.
Oh well, I've had a few. So we got disqualified in that national relay. I was in the team with you.
Was it 4x2?
Maybe.
I think it was.
I can't remember who was in the team, but basically you were all at nationals doing individual events, and I just rocked up, like, didn't know anything about it, and I was like, oh my
Star
God,
of the show.
Perkins up. That scared me enough. And then I just set off way too early. I was set off so early, and yeah, I've done that in another race before, in a triathlon. But yeah, we can talk about the disqualification later.
Sounds good. Okay, so you're the chatty one, really, because that was me. I was always chatting away, so I get that. I do get that. Right, so we're going to do some quick fire either or questions, so don't think too much about them, just whatever comes to mind first, go for it. So, run, bike or swim?
Run.
Racer or trainer?
Racer.
Individual bronze or relay gold?
Relay gold.
A dog with a cat's personality or a cat with a dog's personality?
A cat with a dog's personality.
I thought it was your answer, just a cat.
No, I don't like cats because they're selfish.
Fair enough.
But I would rather a cat with a dog.
You've just offended all the cat people. Run at 100 miles an hour or be able to fly at 10 miles an hour?
Run at 100.
Fair enough. I think you'd win all the races with that. Wetsuit or non-wetsuit?
Non-wetsuit.
Racing in hot temperatures or racing in cold temperatures?
Oh, hot temperatures. I don't fare well in cold.
Okay. I think I remember that about you. A long, easy ride or a shorter, harder ride?
A long, easy ride.
Cooking or baking?
Cooking.
Okay. Morning or evening?
Morning. Yeah.
Text or call?
Text.
Open water or pool swimming?
Open water.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Movies or series?
Movies.
Oh, I think
my attention span's not great with series because I might watch like one and then I won't watch it again until a few months down the line.
Fair enough, I get that. Theme park or water park?
Water park.
Oh, nice. And the last one is takeout or eat at a restaurant?
Restaurant, definitely.
Okay, interesting. What restaurant, if you had to pick?
Oh God, there's so many. I don't know.
Your favourite, or do you not have one? You just love it all?
I love it all. I'm not fancy, but I like a fancy restaurant.
Right, fair enough. Like don't need to be fancy.
Yeah, like loads of courses, just like keep them coming.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but not with little tiny portions.
No, but then I don't know, they do fill you, and they say.
But then if you have
they say like, it's 10 courses, but by the end of it, you get about 15 because they keep throwing food at you, and I love it. And I'm always the one. They bring out like a portion of bread, and then halfway through, I'm like, can we get another portion of bread? I'm so hungry. Oh, more? Are you sure? I'm like, yes. I am definitely sure.
They're like this. Oh, bless her. She thinks she can eat more. And then you just prove them wrong every time.
I know.
Oh no, sounds good. We need to go for dinner sometime, Georgia. We need to go.
Yeah, are you paying?
It depends how many portions of bread you get, to be honest.
I've got expensive taste.
All right. Well, hey, you're worth it. You're worth it, Georgia. You're worth it. So now I was going to ask if you could just give, I mean, I'm sure everyone knows who you are and everything, but if you could just give like a brief overview of your sport career so far, really.
Okay, so I started swimming at about 5 years old and never really stopped. Sort of just moved through different squads and groups. And then at 15, I got on the British Triathlon Talent Squad Academy, having never done a triathlon before. So I was the only one there that hadn't, and basically from there I had to learn to ride a bike. Well, I could ride a bike, but not like a road bike. So I had to learn that, and I was very, very weak. So it took about 2 years for me to be able to stay in a group when we were racing. And then, so after that, I sort of built on my training, and I did my first triathlon at 16. And then I moved to Leeds when I was 18, I guess, to start uni. And then started uni in Leeds and have been doing triathlon now. I've been in Leeds for 8 years. But I guess I've been doing triathlon for 10 years. So,
wow, that's a long time.
I know, it is a long time. What have I sort of achieved then? So, God, this is hard.
Disqualification at nationals many years ago.
Disqualification. So I was 2-time European junior champion, and then I came second at World Juniors, which were in London, and that was in 2013, end of 2013. And then the beginning of 2014 in May, I got quite a bad injury. I got a stress fracture in my foot. Which basically put me out of the sport for 2 years. I couldn't race for 2 years and had to have an operation on that. So I had screws put into my bone, which is still there now. And then, so a little bit of a bionic foot.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and so that I came back in 2016. I started racing again. And sort of built up from there, really, and then started World Series properly in 2018, and came third in the world that year and third in the world last year, and then now here we are in a pandemic.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
you would have been world #1 this year.
I would have,
but this pandemic has hit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to wait now till next year, and you just do it again. It's fine. No, that's awesome. And for those that don't know, I was lucky enough to train with Georgia when she swam, and we were both at Manchester together. And I remember for morning training, we'd both be on poolside at about some ridiculous time, 5 maybe.
Yeah.
And we'd just both be staring at the cold pool like. There we go.
we weren't great to have around for motivation, were we?
No. We in the mornings we were like, oh, I hope the floor breaks when it's going down. And how long ago does that seem now? It seems so long ago now.
A long time ago. And do you remember when we had like team talks on poolside because we were getting the telling off, and me, you and Brogan were like, ask questions.
Yeah. Keep the coach talking, ask the question. Yeah. Oh, but anyone watching this, do work hard. Don't do that. That's not good. Don't do that.
No, yeah. I used to say, can I go to the toilet? And I'd stand in the shower for half an hour.
Me and Grant were saying this, and you'd come out with like red strips here from where the hot water had been on you. Oh gosh. Oh dear. Oh, bad influences, Georgia. Bad influences. Great memories though. Great memories for us. So. I've got loads of questions here. The first one, that's a nice start, and you've sort of just touched on it now, but how did you get into triathlon? Because obviously you swam, but I don't know. You take it away from there, really.
Okay, yeah, so I swam from the age of 5, like I said, and I was all right. I mean, I wasn't national level, I was sort of county level swimmer, and my times were okay. And then I started running cross-country races at about, maybe year 8, so it's about 14, I think. I'm not sure. I started running like cross-country races, schools cross-country, nationals cross-country. And and was quite a good runner. And I was really enjoying the running, but I was also really enjoying the swimming. But I was doing about 18 hours of swimming still, and maybe one run session a week. And I couldn't really balance both of them and still do all my studies. So Mum said, why don't you try a triathlon? Obviously, add in another sport because my life wasn't chaotic enough.
Busy enough.
Yeah. But so I thought, okay then, I'd never really given it too much thought, but we went along to this trial day, like I said, the British Triathlon Talent Squad, it was called at the time. And you had to do a 400 swim and a 1500 meter run on the track, and your time gave you a certain amount of points, and I had like the highest points. So it looked good, like I looked like I should have been able to do a triathlon, but I'd still obviously never done one, so I didn't think I was going to get on. And then they called me the day after the trial and said that you're on the squad. So then I got a bike from them, and I went to 4 training camps a year, I think. They were about a week long, and just learnt how to ride a bike and get stronger. And did my first triathlon when I was 16 at Blenheim Palace.
Oh.
Yeah, which was lovely. But my first triathlon, I actually fell off my bike.
That's a good start.
Yeah, so I had a
the only way is up.
I know. I had a really good swim, and I was with the top girls that were like the top of the sport at that time in the age group I was in. And I think I just was like, oh my god, this is amazing, and I got a bit carried away, and I clipped the girl's wheel in front of me and just blew off my bike. So then the next time I sort of came round to do a lap and pass my parents, I just had like a massive egg on my head and blood on my leg.
Oh,
and
no.
like, oh, what's happened?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so that was my first triathlon, and obviously I loved it because I went back for more.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah, even with the fall. But it's great that you carried on and didn't just go, actually, you know, that'll do.
Yeah, but I think...
Because a lot of people would have been put off.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was the whole triathlon environment and the family and the racing environment, because it was a fairly new sport, and it still sort of is, I guess. And everyone is quite friendly, and it's just nice at events and stuff. I just enjoy it.
Sounds good. Sounds like you're comparing it to swimming, and you're like, everyone's just really nice. So you just like all the swimmers, Georgia. You said, oh, everyone in swimming's horrible.
Yeah, no, I don't miss spending weekends in a sweaty pool.
No.
It's just...
I can imagine you don't.
I need to be outdoors.
Yeah, I get that. I've being in Lanzarote the last couple of years and being around triathletes and triathlons in general. We'd go to some of the starts of the races because one of my really good friends, Tom, would be racing or whatever. And the atmosphere before a race is so different to a swim meet. You know, and it's outside and it's just completely different. So it's been cool to see.
It's more
so I get that. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I think swimming, maybe it's just a bit more tense because it feels like you're on stage. Because there's people literally looking down on you. So I feel like, I don't know, you're on stage and it's a bit scary. Whereas triathlon, you basically start in a field or something, or in the city centre where people are just out and about shopping, so it doesn't seem like a big deal.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, I still haven't done one. I'd love to do one, but yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. Totally get where you're coming from. The next question is, who did you or do you look up to? So have you ever had role models or someone you really looked up to through your career, or not? You can also not have done.
Probably not in triathlon.
Okay.
But my family, really. My mum and dad were both athletes when they were younger, and I guess they just sort of carried it over to me. But yeah, probably my family, just to see how much enjoyment they get out of sport, and that just makes me want to do it. But obviously, like, I look up to every athlete; they're all amazing, and I find gymnasts incredible. I just find them incredible athletes, and I love watching gymnastics and how hard they work. But yeah, no athlete in particular, really.
Fair enough. I get the family thing. Same for me,
Yeah.
Luckily, I came from a family of sports people as well, so it's nice to have that, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you ever, because I know you obviously come from a sporting family, and I know that they support you like mad, like I'm lucky to have that as well. How important has that been through your career to have such a supportive family? And also, coming from a sporting family, does that ever, I know that obviously is a positive thing, but also has it ever been a negative thing where they know a bit too much?
No, I think it's always been good. There's been times where I think maybe when I was younger, and I think my mum and dad kind of saw potential. And my mum was always very relaxed, but I think my dad wanted to like be really, really involved. You know what he's like.
Yeah, I loved him. Great.
Yeah, super loud as well. So dad just like was biggest fan ever, just wanted to be involved.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes for me that was a bit too much because I'm not someone that really thinks much going into races. I don't have a plan. I just sort of, if I'm racing, then I'm ready to race. I'm getting on that start line because I'm ready to put in a good race. I'm not gonna turn up if I don't think I'm ready. So I would never have a plan. And dad would be like, so what are you gonna do this race? What's gonna happen? I'm just like, shut up, leave me alone. I don't want to think about it.
I get that.
So yeah, they were both really supportive, and they were never pushy. This kind of just let me do what I needed to do. When I was a lot younger, I would try all different sports, and it was up to me which one I wanted to get involved in. And if I didn't want to go to a session, I didn't have to go to a session. So yeah, I think it was all sort of on me and whatever I wanted to do, which I think is the way it should be. I mean, I imagine as a parent, it's probably hard seeing your kid maybe walk away from a sport that they're good at. But if that's not what they want to do, then don't push them. There's no point in making them do something that they don't want to. So yeah, I think it's good to have supportive parents, but not too pushy. You've got to kind of trust that your kid's making the right choice there, and I did. And then like my sister Jodie and Dan, they were sporty when they were younger, and then obviously they grew older and decided it's not for me. My elder sister's a nurse, and then Jodie's going back to uni to do a master's, so she prefers like the education side. Dan loves looking after people. I am selfish because I'm an athlete.
No, I get that absolutely, and I 100% agree with everything you just said. And I do shout out to Jodie because I remember training with Jodie as well when she swam. So, but no, you've got a great family, and that they were always fantastic when I used to swim and see them around and stuff. So, so no, that's great. Going a bit deeper now, the lowest moment of your career.
The lowest moment, sitting down in transition in Rotterdam.
Okay.
No, I don't know. It's probably not the lowest, but that's pretty low point. You don't want to be sitting down in transition. Basically, it goes back to sort of the question you asked before: a hot or a cold race. Rotterdam in 2017 maybe. Might have been 2017. It was World Champs, and it was absolutely freezing. So the swim was really cold, and then we got out, and it was about 10 degrees in the air and really windy. And so I got on the bike and instantly couldn't feel my feet. And especially with triathlon shoes, they have quite a lot of vents, so it was just letting in so much cold air, and I couldn't feel them. And then got off the bike, and I couldn't feel my hands. And I got to my transition, put my bike in, and I was like, I can't get my helmet off. It was stuck. And my mum was stood right there. She was like, come on, George, because I was doing really well. I was in the front bike pack. And I was just like crying. I was like, Mom, help me, I can't do it.
Oh no.
I ended up having to use my knuckles to try and undo it because I couldn't feel my hands. And then I thought, right, helmet's off, this is great. Now I've got to get my run shoes on. And my feet were that cold. Every time I tried, my little pinkies were just going on the outside of the shoe. So they weren't going in. And I was just ramming it. And then I thought, right, I'm going to have to sit down and just really concentrate on this. I had to sit down, and I think I left transition 50 seconds after the other girls had already left.
George.
I know, and then I was on a mission, but then Lauren had a 15-second penalty to take.
What did you do?
Basically, on the exit of the swim, when I take my wetsuit off, I take my hat and goggles off first, and as I take my wetsuit off, I put them in the sleeve of my wetsuit. But the hat had fallen out as I was running to transition, and I got a penalty for that, and I thought, that's not fair. So then I had this penalty to take.
Going up to the judge. No.
It was an absolute night, and I was running into third, so I finished 4th on the day, which I was really proud of. I came back.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, Georgia. That's impressive considering what happened.
But it was just like on the bike. It was one of the coaches shouted at me, "PTB, 15-second penalty," and then I didn't have a chance to say anything back to him until the next lap, and I was like, "What for?" And then the next lap I came round and he said, "You dropped your hat." And I looked at Sophie, who was in the group with me, another British triathlete, and I was like, "Sophie, what am I going to do?"
Georgia.
It was not good.
It sounds rough. But I didn't expect you to say that about your lowest. Obviously, before you mentioned about your injury. And that's something that, if I ever get a question about injuries in sport from younger athletes or whatever, you always come to mind, because I know that you said you had 2 years out for an injury, and you came back, and you've come back absolutely phenomenally. And that's always, it comes to mind. And I say, one of my friends, she had an injury really bad that went on for ages, and now she's better than ever and she's smashing it. But what was that 2-year period like for you? Because that's a long time.
It is a long time. It went very quick. So I didn't run for 16 months, which for any athlete that runs, I mean, not being told you can't run for a week is long enough. So 16 months was a long time, but I think after a few months, I just thought, oh, whatever, I'm not going to run again. And there was one point at the start of the injury where I was kind of told, this could be it. You might not recover from this, because the navicular bone it doesn't have a very good blood supply, so it doesn't heal well at all. So that's why I had it operated on. But to be honest, everyone asked, like, was there any point in that period that you thought about quitting? And I never did. I don't know why. Maybe I just had a really positive mindset, and I knew that triathlon was what I wanted to do. That was my aim. My dream was, as a kid, was to go to the Olympics and win a medal, and that was all I wanted to do. So I am sticking at this no matter how long it's going to take. And I also think the fact that I was so young as well. So it happened when I was 21, I think I was. So yeah, it happened at 21. So I knew that I still had years left in me in the sport. So yeah, I just kind of kept plugging away. I was still watching the races and still around the girls that were training. It was kind of one step forward, 2 steps back at the time, because I would progress, and then I got another stress fracture in my foot as I started walking again. So it was just, everything was going wrong. And then I was so close to running. And after maybe a year after my operation, I think, I was really close to running again. And then one of the screws was starting to come out the side of my foot. So I had to have that removed and a shorter one put in. So I thought, oh, that was so close. But I think everything happens for a reason, and maybe it was a good thing. Maybe it meant that I didn't get carried away so young, and it gave me a chance to actually understand my body, because now, I mean, you don't want to go through all of that to understand your body, but I really do understand my body now, and I understand what I can and can't do. I know my limits. So I think that really sort of helped me. I'm not saying go and get a stress fracture.
Right, so my next question is, what's your advice for young athletes? Well, just go and get a stress fracture. It works out great in the end.
I think I got it because I just wasn't recovering well. I came out of my junior career and I was going into my under-23 senior career, and I got carried away, and I was like, oh my God, I need to do so much more training. It's more intense. I'm so nervous. And I was at uni surrounded by older athletes that were Olympians and world champs. And I think I got just a little bit too carried away. I was going through uni also and trying to train full time, and it just all went to pot. So,
well,
yeah, I learned a lot.
Well, I mean, from just saying that it all went apart, it worked out well in the end. But you played the long game, and I think the one of the great things about it, Georgia, is if anyone deserves to do well, it's you, because you stay positive. You've gone through it. You have played the long game, and like you say, you've learned from it, and you use that now to your advantage, which is amazing. A lot of athletes struggle to do even the simplest of getting through an injury. So hats off to you for that. Absolutely. I remember seeing the video you released of you. I think it might have been your first run or one of your first runs on the grass.
Yeah.
And you might have done a few steps and you were just so buzzing with it, like being able to run. And it was just so nice to see.
I was also so nervous, and after that run, that was my first run back, it was like a minute on, a minute off 5 times, and I was so nervous, and I finished the run and my foot was a bit sore, and I called the doctor and I was like, James, I need a scan right away, something's not right. And he's like, it's fine. I was like, no, I need a scan now. And I didn't run again for 2 weeks because I was so scared because my foot was sore, and I thought, I'm not going back to square one. And then he got me a scan and he was like, George, your foot couldn't be in better condition. Like, it's the strongest foot I've ever seen. So I was like, okay, I'm good now. Let's go again. And then, I think I used the injury to my advantage, because we did other stuff, like I got into boxing just to sort of get my heart rate up and get strong. I spent a lot of time in the gym, just sort of conditioning everything around all of my muscles and my bones, which I probably didn't do enough of beforehand. So I think gym work was really, really important for me, and it's definitely made me more robust now.
Yeah, no, that's it. Well, it definitely will have done, and it is those little things that a lot of athletes don't do and then struggle with later on. So that's great that you got that in, and you got all those things working. So now, obviously, it's all good. Is that the dog going mental?
Yeah, he is. He thinks he's a guard dog.
So cute. Well, he is. He's guarding the house, Georgia. He's doing his job. He's doing his job. So we'll flip that now. So obviously that was your lowest moment. Now your highest moment so far, because there's going to be higher, but so far.
Highest moment. I don't. Well, there's quite a few, but I think
you can name them all if you want.
It might be controversial, but it would be winning the test event, holding Jess's hand.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What? Just because.
Any others? Oh, here we go. Go on,
Well, I think just that one, because it was the Olympic test event. We're on the Olympic course. It was incredible to be able to be in that position, and I think also just leading into that race, it wasn't a great time for me. I don't think a lot of people don't know, but as I landed in Japan, I got all these messages through from friends and Josh's family, and Josh had actually fallen off his bike and broke his neck as I was basically flying to Japan. So I landed and got all of these messages through. Josh is my partner, if anyone doesn't know. So then obviously I read these messages and I felt fine, and then about 5 minutes later I was like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. And I just like sat down and just burst into tears. I was like, Jess, what do? I need to go home. I can't be here. I shouldn't be here. This isn't right. And so for those first few, like the weeks leading into the race, it was hard because there was like every day I thought, why am I here? This really doesn't matter when my boyfriend's at home with a broken neck in a halo. So yeah, it was quite a tough period, and I think being able to cross that finish line with Jess hand in hand after her being with me the whole time and cuddling me when I was crying and not able to sleep and just really got me through it. It was nice to be able to just share that experience together. Obviously we didn't know the rule, and maybe I wouldn't have done it if I did know the rule, but I'm glad that we did do it because we'll never be able to do it again. But we did it and it felt really, really special. And leading into it, we'd done all our heat prep and we trained together, and it just felt the right thing to do, really.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And I've got a couple of questions leading on from that race. But first of all, is Josh okay? Like,
Josh is okay. Yeah, no, so
okay.
he broke, he fractured his neck in 2 places. He got something called a hangman's fracture, which basically parts of your vertebrae sort of snap off. Hangman is what happens to someone if they obviously try and hang themselves. So yeah, they sort of snapped off. He was very, very lucky that he was found, and the woman didn't let him move. She made him stay very still.
Good.
But yeah, so he was in a halo for 12 weeks. That had its problems as well. One of the screws ended up like in his brain, which was scary. So
you're like the injury couple.
Yeah, I know. So then that was a bit scary, but he recovered from it fine. And during that period, we got Alfie. So he kind of jokes about it now. He said, it took me to break my neck for you to find
to get a dog.
I was like,
well, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So yeah, he's fine now. He's recovered, back on his bike. So yeah, we're all good.
Good. Someone's just actually commented, I'm sure you can see, even though they found a rule to use, that disqualification was really against the spirit of the sport. I think there's a lot of people that felt that way. So first of all, I just want to know, and I don't want to go on about this, but when did you actually find out that you got disqualified for that? And how did you find out?
So it was about 20-30 minutes after the race. It was super hot there, so instantly after the race we were shoved into an ice bath, obviously really excited. Oh my god, we won, this is amazing. But we were waiting to find out the actual results because we can't obviously both win. So then they released the results that Jess actually won, I was second, and Flora Duffy from Bermuda was third. So I was like, oh my god, Jess won! Like, it's the first race, like massive race that she's won, and I was so happy and excited. And Jess was like, I've never won a race before. So we were all excited and sharing it with all the other girls. And then we got out of the ice bath and we were just waiting to be interviewed for Triathlon Live, I think it was. And then Ben, our head coach, came over to us, and he looked like death. Like, oh my god, his face, he was like really, and I was like, hi Ben, you alright? And he's like, you've been disqualified. And we just laughed. We're like, right, yeah, no, what's wrong? And he's like, no, you've been disqualified. And we're like, what? Why?
Oh no.
And he's like, you're not supposed to you can't hold hands across the finish line. And we're like, what? So I burst into tears instantly because I was like, I'm so sorry, Jess, this is my fault. And then Jess, she would never, she's like, Georgia, why are you crying? Oh my god, what are you crying for? Stop crying, that's weird. Stop crying now. No,
weird.
But you won and I'm taking it away from you. So yeah, we found out about 20-30 minutes afterwards, and then everyone was sort of on our side. It got appealed. We appealed it. Flora Duffy, the Bermudan, also appealed it. A lot of people were kind of on our side. But, I mean, it was just nice that basically we had the support of everyone. No one kind of sent us any hate mail. They're like,
well, I should hope not.
Yeah, so like all of the other girls just said to us, look, we obviously know who won. It was you two clearly won the race. It's a stupid rule, but never mind. Moving on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's good. And, you know, I think there was a lot of uproar about that. I remember when we heard about it, we saw the race, and then after we heard about it, we were just like, what?
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. But
also,
just don't do it again.
Yeah, no, it also kind of took away the fact that we just won the Olympic test event. Because you'd see people afterwards and they'd be like, oh, sorry, what happened? And I think, what do you mean, sorry? We still won it.
Yeah, we still won it. Yeah.
I still did the race in bloody 40-degree heat and 90% humidity.
Yeah.
So
definitely, and no one can take that away from you, Georgia. Just, you know.
Yeah, we still
it's a real shame. Yeah, and you absolutely, you know, there's no reason not to, other than them being idiots with a rubbish rule. But anyway, don't do it again. That's all I'll say.
Lost out on a little bit of money, but think about that.
No, we'll just pass that one. We'll just pass that one on. So obviously this little thing has happened this year where everyone's gone into lockdown and there's no sporting events, including the Olympics. So hopefully they'll be next year, 2021. But I don't know if you know or not, but I don't know what the process now is to qualify, or have you qualified, or what are they saying, or do you not know?
We still kind of don't know yet, because they can't really put out a criteria when there's no races planned. So it might come down to being discretionary, but right now they can't really say, look, you need to medal in one, like Bermuda, say, because that's one of the first Olympic distance races. They can't really say that when they don't know if it's going to go ahead. So at the minute, it's all just sort of discretionary right now. So we don't really know, but we're all still kind of hoping that we'll be selected.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, surely. But we'll see.
It's tough, isn't it? As I don't know, as a British female, there's so many of us. We're so close. I think we had might have been like 4 of us in the top 10 last year. So it's tough. It's not easy.
Oh yeah. There's always, every time I see the races, there's always a few of you up there, and I'm like, oh, this is close. This.
I know.
But it pushes you on, I suppose. I got a question from one of my friends called George, who said, how did it feel winning the first World Triathlon Series race? How did it feel when you won that first?
I won in Leeds. Leeds. That was really special.
Home turf.
I got quite emotional. I don't know, everything seemed to flow quite well that race. I felt good, everything came together. It was a tough race, it was an honest race on an honest course, and I just felt good and sort of used it. And just the fact that it was in front of a home crowd, and Leeds is probably the best crowd, and my family were all there.
Brilliant.
So it was just even more special knowing that I could cross the finish line and go and see my family straight away. Sorry.
Oh,
pause.
Lost you there, Seth. Are you back?
I lost you. I'm back. No, so it was just quite special knowing that I could spend the celebrations with my family.
Yeah, definitely. I remember watching that race. It was just So special, George.
Yeah,
One of those that I won't forget, because we were just like, she's doing it, you know, and you just, yeah.
That's what I felt like in the race. Although I was like, oh no, I've done it now. I've gone for the
God.
I'm gonna go downhill from here.
Oh no, you smashed it. It was great to watch. Great to watch.
I just think it's quite nice, especially in triathlon, because you're so close to the crowd, and like I'm not very good at focusing, so I'm always looking at who's in the crowd and stuff, and you just hear people cheering for you that you don't even know, and they might just be out doing their shopping or something, and they're cheering for you. And I'm like, I love this. Sport just brings everyone together, doesn't it?
It does. And you know, you can have friends everywhere with sport, which is one of the best things about it. You know, you make friends that you wouldn't make otherwise. So yeah, it definitely brings people together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just had a question through, and I didn't get to read it properly, but was there any discussions, hold on, post-Olympic test event about the barricades they use? A lot of the bike crashes during the race seem to be because of the feet stuck out. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, that was brought up. So we're quite lucky in triathlon, actually. We have quite a good athletes commission. So after every race, we can send feedback as to what we thought about that race, what was good about it, what we would change in the race, and that feedback's put forward. So it is really good, and they do consider the athletes. So after that race, we did sort of say things like the barricades, things like there wasn't enough ice baths because it was so hot. The fact that on the run course, the water stations, the water was warm. So when it's like 40 degrees, you don't want to pour warm water on you.
No, you don't.
Yeah, so it's just things like that, which is really good for us because we can give feedback, and it's just nice that they actually do consider the athletes. So yeah, that was definitely a thing that was brought up. But that crash that Katie was involved in, she was in front of me, and I just heard a scream and saw her go down, and instantly I just sort of paused because I was like, oh my God, what the hell? Stop the race. This is not okay. This is awful.
Yeah.
And I just went up to Jess and I was like, Jess, what do we do? And she was like, I don't know. We'll carry on. I was like,
Katie. You're too nice, George. You're too nice.
It was awful. And then, straight away after the race, we went to see her in a room and we gave her, because she'd like bust all her lip and like torn her gum away. It was awful. So we went and took her somewhere ice pop things to soothe the pain.
Bless you. I'm going to throw you under the bus here now, and I'm going to ask you your favourite ever teammate.
My favourite ever teammate?
Yeah. Apart from me, you know, obviously. No, your favourite ever teammate. Don't insult anyone else now.
Oh God, that's really hard. There's so many. I'm probably going to have to say Jess Learmont, because she just makes it a lot easier for me. She's just great to have around at races because she basically tells me what to do. So that's right. I just copy her.
Wait, she tells you what to do in a race, or?
Sometimes in a race, actually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's quite, she's very demanding in the race. She's like, pull a turn, get to the front. And I'm like,
nice. Jess. I'm trying.
Yeah, so no, Jess is really good to have around because she just, I don't know, she's just very chilled out like me, and we don't really think much about the race. We just think, bloody hell, we're lucky to be here. So
that's brilliant.
We're quite similar, and we're always roomies, and it's just easy with her.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah.
It definitely is easy when you've got a roommate that you know very well, because you know how each other ticks, and especially if you're similar. I can imagine that works really well. So obviously you do Olympic distance triathlon, but would you ever go into the Ironman game, or would you stay firmly away?
Never say never.
Yeah.
But I I can't
No.
concentrate. No, maybe. I think I would try one. I don't think I'd be good at it because I feel like I would get very distracted on the bike and I would just end up getting off and being like, oh my
Right.
goodness.
Oh, that's a nice coffee stop.
Yeah, that looks like a nice beach. So I don't know. I would like to try one just because then I can say I've done one.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's for me. I'm not sure. Just the fact that it's non-drafting and you're on your own, and I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe.
I mean, you'd smash it, but obviously only if you'd want to.
I don't know about that.
You would.
No.
I believe in you. So the final question we've got, George, is any advice to young and up and coming athletes? We have just got another question in, but I will ask it in a minute. But yeah, any advice to the up and coming guys?
I would say to young athletes that it's all about having fun, really. I have this job, this triathlon magical job. It's not really a job, but because I just love it so much, and right now I am loving it. If there's a day I wake up and I'm like, I don't like this anymore, I don't want to do it, then that's it, it's over. I don't want to do it, it doesn't make me happy. So I think you just need to do something that makes you happy, do a sport that makes you happy. And also a big thing is consistency. Don't get carried away thinking, oh my God, I should be doing a 30-hour training week and then do one 30-hour week and then have to have a month off. Because you're going to get nothing from that. It's better to do 10 hours consistently every week for the rest of the year, which is what I think I've always been quite good at. I'm very consistent. I'm not amazing in training, but my training is consistent. I consistently get out and do the same sessions. My paces are the same. So I think it's all about being consistent and just enjoying it, really, and finding a nice little training group. And yeah, it's easy to get carried away when you're young because you feel like you're missing out if you're not selected for something. But honestly, it's not the end of the world. Like I said, I had 2 years out when I was quite young, and at the time you are kind of like, I want to be there, but it really doesn't matter because if you want to do sport and you enjoy it that much, you've got a long time in it.
That very wise words, and something that I wish I'd have known when I was younger, for sure.
Yeah.
So any young athletes watching, definitely take it on board because it's incredible advice. Someone's just asked, just to quickly finish, in your opinion, what is the most important foundation for good swimming?
You're the swimmer.
Morning training with Georgia. That's what I'd say. Morning training with Georgia.
Running drills at a swim session.
Yes. I used to watch you and think, she's mad. Yeah. And now I watch you and think, I get it. It was worth it. But yeah, no. Well, that's all of the questions, Georgia. But thanks for joining me. It's been I've loved it. It's been a great episode.
It's been fun.
And I hope people get stuff from it. I'm sure they will. I have. So that's great. But yeah, no,
you basically just had my sob story.
I have, but you know what? It's great. I'll listen to it all night, to be honest. I don't mind.
I've just come on here to say, oh, woe is me. It's been such a hard time.
No, you haven't. And one of the great things about you, Georgia, is your love for the sport, and it's just so great to see. And I can see it even before we spoke today. You can see it on your social media and when you race and stuff like that. And it's really good to see. So just keep being you, George. And next year, if it happens, we're all behind you. We're proud of you, and just give it your best, like we know you will.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'll probably give you a text after this anyway. So, but thanks for coming on. I've really enjoyed it, and it's great to hear your story. So inspirational one. So
well, thank you for thinking about me and having me on here.
That's no problem. But thanks to everyone that's been watching. And we'll see you next week for another the Call Room episode. See you later, Georgia.
Enjoy your dinner.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, you too. Bye.